143 tons of resources and reserves in the 5 currently operating mines. The remaining 527 tons is what requires the development into new mines, and this is all the the data is available in the Geological Society of India special publication, which I happen to edit as the chief editor among the three. The It's a publication available for sale, and it gives a compilation of the latest knowledge, which is the outcome of the national level uh, seminar which I organized in February 2019 in Kolar Goldfields, the proceedings of which is published in this special publication number 11 in October. A number of participants from not only private sector, from GSI, MBCL, IBM were there. So out of this one, there are prospects with less than 5 tons out of, I'm talking about the 189. Out of that, 81 numbers are less than 5 tons of drilled gold resources. It means, these are not fully drilled. This is the current, almost like a reconnaissance style drilling that has happened, but that's good enough on the basis of which resources have been estimated. Their number, less than 5.5 tons, they number 81 prospects. Prospects holding more than zero point 0.5 and less than 2 tons of gold is 31. Prospects with more than 2 tons of gold is 77 numbers, which includes, of course, the 5 operating mines. So next slide, please. Next one. Yeah. Where are the gold mines? Future gold mines. Here are the gold mines. I have named them here. And no, I don't think it's a. I'll be sharing. I think Data Code will be sharing the slides with all of you, and so I don't propose to read all of them for lack of time. 5 mines. In the last few years, the different states have auctioned the gold prospects. Bhagmara, Pahardia, Parasi, Bisanatam, Chigargunta, Ajanali East Block, Belagatta, Himalaya even is for not for CL, it is for mining lease itself, and Gurhar Pahar. I don't know whether Gurhar Pahar is really granted or not, but that came up for the CL. Uh, CL or ML, I really don't know exactly whether it's Gurhar Pahar, but these are the ones that have received the attention from the state departments, and then only 5 of which contain resources, drilled resources. Anyway, 5 mines are under operation. 15 old mines can be divided, most of which came to standstill when the government of India, Ministry of Mines, took the decision of closing down Bharat Gold Mines Limited. That was in April 2001. When main BGML was closed down, then the Chigargunta mines in Andhra Pradesh, which is the far southern extension of Kolar Goldfields, came to a standstill. Bisanatham, which was an underground mine, it came to a standstill. Ramagiri Goldfields near Anantapur in Andhra Pradesh came to a standstill. Hosur gold mines in Gadag Goldfields in northwest Karnataka came to a standstill. Earlier to that, the Mangalore goldfields, about 80 kilometers north of the Hatti gold mines, was closed down for reasons unknown by Hatti gold mines themselves. So these are some of the gold mines, and also the other mines, Kempinkote mines, and then there were a few others there, which also came to a standstill. Totally about 15 old gold mines can be revived, and about 178 new gold mines can be developed in phases. The first phase, the first target should be the 2 years from now, the 2025. We should be having not less than 25 gold mines. It's a clear-cut possibility, provided government of India changes the law today. Then definitely we'll be able to establish over 200 mines by 2029. That is my optimism based on knowledge, not on astrology. Next one, please. Next one. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is, let me go to the, in a little bit of detail of how Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh fare in terms of gold resources. There are 4 operating mines, as I said, out of 5. One is in Jharkhand. 357 tons gold is the existing resource base, spread over 98 blocks or 98 prospects in Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh part. I have not included Kerala and Tamil Nadu here. 170 tons of reserve is out of the total 357 tons of resource base is spread over 12 blocks, of which 4 are the operating mines in Karnataka. The remaining 187 in 86 blocks needs to be developed, and they are ready for development in at least in the before 2025 we can have about 15 gold mines in Karnataka state. That's my optimism. Again, I repeat, this is based on knowledge. 7 gold mines can be revived, 50 small and medium-sized new gold mines can be developed in Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, and about 45 tons of gold per year can be achieved by 2029. Next one, please. Yeah. Let's see the gold fields in northern and central India. I'll just leave for some time. Those of you who are seeing the slides, you can just go through that one and then I will come back. Yeah. Right from northwestern side towards the southeastern side, there is an amazing number of gold fields having a number of gold prospects. Many of them have been drilled. I will come in. Yeah. You see, in the northwestern part, Bukia, Jagpara, and its further northwestern extensions is the best today. Next to Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, the Rajasthan has entered into the gold map of India. This sector, Bukia, was discovered by Geological Survey of India in 1991. Since 1991 to date, uh, uh, sufficient drilling has gone on. I have got the data, and then 240 tons of gold is available, out of which nearly 6 blocks can be developed into gold mines. For God knows why, or I should say, Ministry of Mines knows well why this is not being promoted into mines or progress into new mines. I consider that all those gold resources which are lying dormant in the ground as non-performing assets. The Comptroller General of India in the future should hold the states responsible why they have kept, although they have spent the public money, and keeping that idle is a crime against the country, because we are, the people are paying to import, and because on the import of nearly 900 tons, more than 3.5 million people are working today, because gold is one of the biggest in the gold ornament industry, is one of the biggest in the country, and there are millions of people dependent upon that. When the gold resources drilled at the cost of public money and left underground as non-performing assets is a crime. Next one, please. Yeah, so just hold on. Like this, in Mahakoshal belt, number of gold resources are there, including Gurahar Pahar and other adjacent areas, Sona Pahari, the Hardy Group, and the extensions of this one, Gurahar Pahar, and up to Himalaya, Kusera goldfields, these Selarpur goldfields, all closer to the Jabalpur, and that's one thing. And then Kundarkocha, and then the entire the Jharkhand or the Singhbum Craton is very potential. Here we not only have standalone gold prospects, but also we have gold copper occurrences here. And then the Parasi and Pahar, they are known, and Kundarkocha is the only small working mine at the moment. Even Varissa has Gopur and then other quartz pebble conglomerate hosted, some of the best quartz pebble conglomerate hosted gold, which mimic may not, definitely not in the quantity, because we have not drilled at all here. Witwatersrand sand, this is similar to Witwatersrand sand we have here in around Dhanjori belt, and yeah, Gopur is a orogenic style deposits associated with volcanics and sediments. Then in the Chota Nagpur granite gneiss belt north of the Singhbhum thrust is the Patalgaon, or yeah, Jashpur, in Jashpur district of Chhattisgarh state. And further southwest is a well-known Sonakhan Bhagmara gold prospects in the Sonakhan belt, in the western part of Sonakhan belt. Bhagmara is already granted in 2016 to Vedanta Group, and I think they have the clearance itself took nearly 3 years or so, and I don't know whether it's prospecting is going on at the moment at Bhagmara, but that's an excellent field. I have personal knowledge of all these areas, except that in Bukia, I have not gone there. Otherwise, in all the areas that you are seeing, I have a personal knowledge because I have gone over them, hammered myself, sampled them like this. And in the Bhivapur sector, there is an one area which has 1,100 ancient workings, or you can call it as old workings. I think the British times, the geologists also visited this area. Bhivapur sector has got standalone gold only style mineralization, plus we have copper gold areas in this one. Sona Dehi is also in Chhattisgarh. There's a drilled resource which is in banded manatite quartzites. So this much to show that there is so much potential and resources existing, which the law should not stop these from taking shape into mines. Next one, please. Yeah, this is to just to precisely show where are the mines that can come up in the northern and central India. Dani Basri is a gold copper, which contains, I think, nearly 6 or 7 tons of gold. Uh, so that can be developed. It's not developed. There are a number of other gold copper occurrences in northeastern part, in the, say, K3 sector, and in the northeastern part of the Delhi fold, Aravalli Delhi fold belts, and in the southwestern part also we have gold associated and with gold associated with base metal deposits in the southwestern part of this is apart from Bukia and Jakpura, which are gold only type with a little bit of sulfides, of course. There is some copper and zinc also, gold. And some silver is also associated with Bukia gold fields. So these are the areas. Next one, please. Yeah, this is just to focus. I started liking Bukia and collected a lot of information through my discussions with the Geological Survey of India. And there is a very good paper on Bukia goldfield in the special publication number 11, the Geological Society of India. And I said, you see, there's 224 ton is the existing gold resource, which is locked up in 114 million tons at average grade of 1.95 gram per ton, a few of which are plus 2 gram per ton. Large scale open pit mines are possible. 6 new gold mines and 11 tons of gold production per year is possible by 2029. But the mines can start, 1 or 2 mines, 2 mines distinctly can start before 2025. So that much for the Bukia Jakpura goldfield. And there is a large scope for exploration and discovery in this sector, because the gold mineralization is found for almost nearly 200 kilometers from Ghatol in the southeast up to the northwest. Yeah, next one, please. Almost close to Udaipur. Yeah, next one, please. Yeah, this byproduct gold is already known to all of you, and then there is a lot of scope currently. I don't know exactly. I have just put this one 12 tons. I could not study the website to clear and in detail. 12 tons is what I had noted down way back in 2011, and 12 tons is what is coming out from the copper concentrate smelting. It must go high, but the if all the copper smelters they go on full steam, then we should expect not less than 25 tons as the byproduct gold in this country. That will add to our gold production from India. So So this is about gold product, and mainly to emphasize there is a huge scope for tapping gold from copper deposits in the country. Next one, please. Next one. Yeah, thank you. Global exploration expenditure. Where is the money going? Money is going 18%. This all these things totally 100%. Main money is going to the Canada, and then here 13% to Australia. This is maybe a little bit old, but this just is enough to show that many countries are receiving foreign direct investments and permitting or encouraging their own country companies, private sector companies, to invest in exploration and giving shapes to new mines. That is what is lacking right from 1993. Though though the announcement of the 1993 intentions and 1999 investment announcements have been very, what shall I say, very bullish, and but Ministry of Mines has not put any effort to translate whatever that is there on the paper in 2019 national policy or in the vision documents of the Atmanirbhar Bharat. There is no effort to translate them into productive mines. So money is going elsewhere, and in addition, Indian capital is going to other parts of the country. Devarajan is, the VP of the gold company in Mali. Likewise, I have many of my colleagues who are working outside. There is a drain of excellent Indian talent to overseas destinations. This is very unfortunate. Next one, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. So you look at this. This is the current expenditure. This is my little bit old slide. Currently, the current expenditure is about 500 crores compared to, this is for non-bulk metals mainly, and which include gold mainly, and a little bit of base metals and diamond. The 500 crore is a pittance compared to the what others are spending. So, more the expenditure on drilling, more the resources is the slogan everybody knows. So India needs to really gear up. Indian exploration expenditure of around 1,000 rupees per square kilometers, as against 7,000 and odd, in Australia, Canada, and China. We need to spend not less than 5,000 rupees per square kilometer on reconnaissance and recce drilling, but more on resource drilling. Yeah, next one, please. How much also I have mentioned here, how much we need to be spending. Yeah, we need about 10 lakh meters of drilling per year for gold alone. Expenditure required from discovery stage to resource definition stage to scoping stage is about 2,000 crores. And total collection of NMET to date is about 3,700 crores. Amount spent up to June 2020, June 2022, yes, 22 is 477 crores out of the collection of 3,700. This again reflects the projects are not in full swing. Of this, the expenditure on the project deep-seated minerals, on the gold, etc., is 66 crores since 2015. Shame on the part of the Ministry of Mines and others who are involved. This is 8 years has gone by, but this is the fate of the country today. We need, huge drilling that can only happen by tweaking the law to international best practices. You look at this one. I have given an example here. Bronzewing, which I happened to visit along with Mark Creasy, prospect of the Century Award winner Mark Creasy, with October 1995. I went to Bronzewing, which was his discovery. And you look at the 240,000 meters of drilling just for a single deposit there. This is the kind of drilling that India has to carry on. Next one, please. Yeah, there is a gold is called as a deep-seated minerals. It is not a deep-seated mineral. I don't know what wisdom prevailed to name gold as a deep-seated mineral. No, It is not a deep sea. Look at this here. All of them are, and there are 900 gold occurrences in our own country, and all of them have surface expressions. And they are called deep-seated minerals. Yes, they go up to 4 kilometers in Witwatersrand, 3.2 kilometers in India, in Kolar goldfields, a kilometer down in Hatti gold mines, almost 3 kilometers in Ashanti goldfields in Ghana, which I happened to visit. And in Canada, we have the Yellowknife goldfields. Yes, they go to kilometers depth. And the greenstone belts also go up to 5 kilometers. But to call the gold as a deep-seated mineral for purpose of exploration is a misnomer. And look at this one, almost all of them. And Australia is still primarily conducted on, its exploration on shallow depths. Next one, please. Discoveries have happened at shallow depths, right at the surface. Yeah. Vision of Government of India's Atmanirbhar Bharat. Let's look at the objectives more clearly in terms of the wordings or the ministry itself. Next one, please. Yeah. Next one. Sorry, repeated. Yeah. This is the first one is accelerating exploration and mining to support India's goal of $5 trillion economy. Gold is a very important component of $5 trillion economy. Employment generation, no, it's not contributing at all. By importing, what we are doing, we are creating jobs outside the country, and we are, it is creating jobs outside the country and not contributing to the rural economic development in India. And Atmanirbhar Bharat, there is no reduction at all. 1.7%. Presently, mining accounts for all mining, I'm talking. Presently, mining accounts for 1.7% of India's GDP, while it is 8% in Australia and South Africa, which among the, even Canada also can be, which share common geological history with India. So India imports, as I have already said, I am not going to report that one, 100,005 tons in 21-22, $57 billion. More worrying is India's dependence on China and other countries for critical and strategic metals. That apart from gold, this is the worry that we need to entertain, because it also falls under the NBM, non-bulk commodities, for which there has been no encouragement. And don't mind my repeating, please, because I'm very angry with the Ministry of Mines, Government of India. Despite repeated amendments in the last, since 2015, and mineral exploration is negligible, due mainly to the auction system of granting composite license. Yeah, while India receives about $200 million as FDI,
Dr.
countries.
Avni is smiling. Sir,
Pardon? Pardon, sir?
you said that you're angry, so
Yeah.
you have to, yeah, obviously, we are all, but sometimes we are unable to speak out. But it's good that you are saying. And
I
Dr.
said this. I said this to the secretary on the 29th. I expressed my displeasure to him.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, and
Please, sir.
PMO was there, office was there at that time. Yeah, because
Second answer. Yeah,
the reason is that
it's quite frustrating
pussyfooting
sometimes,
should not go on. They must
sir.
really
Sir,
see.
agree,
Here
sir.
is the panel. What
Yeah,
prevents Ministry of Mines to call all of you here? Why should they not constitute a panel of the experts right here in front of my eyes? You are all sitting there, and why should they not call all of you and constitute a panel? Why will they hear only Geological Survey of India and MECL and others? Yeah, they are not commercial people. You see, they are scientists. I and you, if my boss puts 1 rupee, I am answerable to that 1 rupee.
fair enough. Absolutely,
That
I
is not the
agree.
case with GSI and MECL and those who
Yes.
maintain the inventory.
And
Yeah,
they
that
speak the language of what sometimes
yeah,
government wants or the babus want. I mean,
yeah.
anyway, I'm also in the government, so a little bit I have to be careful what I say. But
Yes.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you, because I fully understand that.
I've been listening to you, sir,
Mm,
and I can
mm.
understand the frustration. And me and Ajit, we often meet. Hi, Ajit. Morning. It's quite cloudy and monsoon here in Bhubaneswar.
Uh-huh.
Almost every other day, we sip coffee together, and sometimes we share a common frustration. Not only the way we are, in the working in the whether it's government or sometimes it's private sector. They're willing to spend billions of dollars on exploration, but it's not happening because of some restrictive policies. And it's not that these policies They discuss with all the industries, but they do what they want to do. Uh, Even though they just try to understand and take a feedback, they take a meetings, do meetings with the exploration high regime countries, Australia and Canada and other countries, but the policies which would need spent on exploration or whether it's mining. As you showed, sir, so many prospective blocks are already available. I was just wondering also that so many prospective block of bauxites are available.
Yeah,
Also,
really.
it's ready
And I
ready to
have
be
got the
known.
details actually published,
Yeah,
which I will
yeah.
send it to you in the Geological Society. It lists all the precisely the locations.
Shalendra, let's
Yeah, yeah.
let's Saranga finish
Let's,
his
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
presentation,
Sorry,
please.
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Dr. When
Okay,
Abhay,
no,
you
no,
smiled, I
don't
could
say sorry,
understand.
but I'm
Sorry.
happy. Government is also listening to me here. Two of you from the government. I'm happy. I'm venting out my
Sir,
frustrations, and you are hearing. Thank you.
but to make
Shailendra,
our
Shailendra, just hold on. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
hold on. Let sir finish. Then we
Yes,
have a
yes,
final
yes.
discussion.
Yeah,
Okay,
Today
all
it
next
right.
would
slide,
be an
please.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. But Shailendra's contribution was good. I'm happy that, yeah. Okay, next one,
Sir,
please.
thank you, sir. Yeah, please carry on.
Next slide. Yeah, I will quickly go on because let me give more time for discussion actually. Yeah, hurdles in achieving Atmanirbhar Bharat. I will not read this out, but this is mainly the auction, at least for exploration. Auction should be system should be got rid of. This is what I wrote in again in January 2022 to the ministry, so to the PMO, and earlier to have been voicing with the Ministry of Mines. And in fact, the one, yeah, let me come to that afterwards. Ease of doing business, this also already known to all of you. Our rating agencies, international rating agencies, we are not in the reckoning at all today. After 2015, when we adopted the auction policy, India is not in, does not figure in the Fraser Institute assessment of global exploration companies and mining companies. Next one, please. Next one. Yeah. Auction system should not apply to exploration. This is what I said. And currently what's happening is by reducing from G3 to G4, even the reconnaissance data is putting up for auction, saying that it's CL means what? Prospecting come mining. Prospecting means I need to know where is the zone, at least I should see some zone defined. Here, they are putting out reconnaissance G4 level data, a rock chip sample here, a steam sediment sample here, some soil sample here. That is being called as, prospecting cum mine lease. It is a shame on the part of the states and shame on the part of the Ministry of Mines that they are trying to fool the geologists of this country. They are trying to fool the private investors. That is exactly the reason why there has not been any, not a single new mine has come non-bulk metal samples, precisely in the last 8 years. No. So the reason is this: the data is very frustrating for those who invest. Yeah, and that too, there is another rule: until three people, three bidders are there, otherwise the bid gets lapsed. If one industry, I have seen, top people, top companies, which I don't want, they are participating here today in the panel. One bidder was there. The State Department said, sorry, there are no three bidders. You are gone. Today is what's like, it's lapsed. We'll do it next time. This is not on. This is very not correct. Okay, and also 10A2B, 10A2B, for which gave the rights to the pre-2015 investors was taken away. There was no sunset clause, much against the advice of advice of Niti Aayog, 10A2B, and the Mr. R.K. Sharma, the Secretary General of FIMI, also wrote to the Prime Ministers not to meddle with 10A2B, the rights already vested with under the previous laws. They took out 10A2B, and what happened? Say a few gold mines which had reached the post feasibility stage and about to be turned into mines, they vanished from the list of the prospective mines in this country. This is definitely not of how the Atmanirbhar Bharat has to be achieved. Tax regime. India is highest taxed in the country, 55%, as against a global average of 40%. Next slide, please. Yeah, here is this one. Telltale here. This is not correct. See, there are many prospects here. Today, there are small prospects. They require hand-holding and a lot of incentives for development. And that's the what besides tweeting the policies and the act, the many of the small deposits need incentives. That's the way to go to establish more mines and create jobs in the country. Next one, please. Perhaps that's maybe the last one. Next one. Yeah. And I just listed which are the 15 gold mines that can come up within the next before 2025. And that's the list one. I'm not going to read that one. And the slides are with you, I assume. And then you can go ahead. This is beside 5 mines, 20 gold mines can be started before 2025. And this is the model that I gave to Karnataka government, and development of new gold mines on MSME model. And this is what I also propose. The reason for that is, as I repeat that when there are 81 prospects today with drilling that has gone on, but has got less than 500 kg of gold. Today, see the current price, 400, let's say 450 crore is 1 ton of gold. 0.5 tons is say 225 crores of rupees, which can be worked at the rate of say 100 kg per annum. 100 kg will create about 45 crores of rupees. So that will be a mob company in this country. There are a number of small mines in China. We should adopt the Chinese model and come up with small companies. And there is much scope today to start small companies and medium scale companies. So less than 0.5 tons is 81 numbers. Between 0.5 to 2 tons, 2 tons is nearly almost 1,000 crores or 900 crores of rupees. There are 31 such blocks are there. And more than 2 tons is 77, which includes 5 operating mines today. So, and that also includes, the mines which is due for development before 2025. So this is the model. Micro means 100 kg resource in the ground, small means 1000 kg, and then medium goes anywhere between 1000 kgs to 5000 kg or 5 tons. This is the model that I gave to as a member of the Karnataka State Mineral Policy Committee, which just concluded a month ago. I was an expert member on the committee, and then I gave this model because Karnataka has got almost more than 45 prospects to be developed into new mines. Next one, please. Yeah, I think this is the last slide. And a good governance has to be pro-people and proactive. This was stated almost 2-3 years ago by Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji. But MMDR Act 2015, it's not so. It should be amended to make it pro-people, pro-investors. Geology serves the nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It was. Thank you, sir. It was great to hear from you. I always wait to hear, and I think many of these members present here in this session are very keen to always listen to you. You not just bring about the geological knowledge, but actual economic perspective to any act which geology can turn from basic mineral and exploration can turn into value. And that's what we could see from today's presentation of yours, that whatever we as a geologist find, how it can be converted into value and which can be of benefit to society at large. Given this presentation, I would like to start with a question for all the panelists to begin with. We have been called, golden bird, golden bird in our ancient times. We know that importance of gold as a alternative currency in the world. We also understand every Indian human, every home has a small piece of gold, which is much more than anybody, any, I would say, any country thinks about gold. As an individual, we always think gold as a big asset in our family life. Given all this background and given the current account deficit, how do we make uh, government to understand what should be our uh, joint effort to make, though Vasudev sir has been doing his individual contribution time and again by writing to PMO, giving presentations to PMO and Niti Aayog. But I think it is high time that we as a scientist, as an industrialist, should wake up and come out with something which will enlighten and educate not just the government, but industrialists who actually lobby to the government for change of policy. So I would like to hear from each and every panelist. To begin with, Abin sir, since you have been working very closely with World Bank and other countries, I would request you to start sharing your experience or your guidance, how we can take this forward. Abin.
Yeah, thank you, KK. And I have no words actually to how to thank Vasudevan sir. I mean, I think this is third time I'm in some sort of conversation with him, directly or indirectly. I learned a lot today. I think some of you probably know that I had some direct conversation with the ministry, and recently a couple of years ago, probably with Planning Commission and what we call today Niti Aayog. On other aspect, I think Vasudevan sir is aware of those things
Yes.
partly.
Yeah.
So the reason I brought that up is related to your question, how we make changes, right, in people's mind. You can see that the other aspect of this exactly says these laws, we are not change it so that we make India more attractive for foreign investors. There was a moment where I said, "Kuch nahi hoga isme, kuch nahi hoga, just leave it." But then things came. There are like slight changes. When Niti Aayog called us a meeting, and I was apparently people said, "Don't bring him Abani, don't bring Abani onto the panel." But there are forces that said, "No, he need to be here," type of thing. You can see it. You can see it. But the thing is, with all the if we list all the complaints, there will be pages and pages. But what I see that there's always a glimpse of hope there. That the reason why Shailendra is today in the government sector, the reason why Niti Aayog's meeting was happening, the reason why Vasudevan sir was invited. I mean, Vasudevan sir, you have actually, I left India 22 years ago, but you have been constantly working. Correct me if I'm wrong. I see that there is a change. It's not as fast, it's not as rapidly we want it to be, but there's definitely some changes. Now we're complaining. For an example, in another panel a couple of years ago, me and Biplab and other people are there. There was coming up that fund. What is that fund, Shailendra?
NMET.
It's NMET fund.
Right. Who would even think about a fund like that? Now I think it is not being actually even spent. I remember that people are complaining about we don't have enough money. Now we have too much money. At least that's a creative idea, right? But it really gives me a lot of frustration when I think that what is happening in South Africa, what's happening in Nevada, it's just like just west of me. Why we can't do it, given the people like Vasudevan sir, all the vast knowledge that we have. There are a couple of things comes to my mind. like you said, I travel worldwide in various projects. What I see, just to take a contrast, actually, I'll come down to something you guys may not like it. I'm sorry. Education system. Our education system is fantastic in building corporates like GSI. Finding, find it. Just up to prospecting, we are one of the best countries in the world. I'm not kidding. But from there to take to mine, I can, make it a mine. That's why we lack. One of the main reasons is
Correct.
our education system. There are only few institutes you can count where the professor are trained, or students coming out of the schools, then they know there's some knowledge about, hey, we are the geologists, we know money. Geology to money, that relationship. Like what Vasudevan sir says, what is delivering, with his 50 years of experience in that industry. How many professors are teaching that? There are not many. I'm sorry. That's a thing that people don't talk about. That frustrates me. That's exactly what I have been pushing to government of Nigeria. I'm sorry, I cannot even talk to government of India. I come from India. My heart is there, but I cannot. But I'm pushing to the government of Nigeria to change their education system, and we're going to be in the panel. There are a couple of other African countries actually I'm pushing there too. But compare that, KK, where we have more minds, you'll see those countries. First ingredient. I'm not saying that's the whole thing. First ingredient is the education system. They're producing people who understand how to take from exploration to mining. I'll give an example, actually, what's going on in Nevada. In here, just in it's not because of the United States. United States, we complain about India. Come to US, you will see how much complaints we have here. It's a very difficult country. You talk about frustration with the politicians and bureaucrats. Come fight here. You will see. You can do things over in India. Here you cannot do that. That every country has a problem. Okay. Given that, kids come out of the school, go to mine. They have that knowledge while they are there. The reason it's happening is the government, the institutions, and the private entities all work together. I think that's what also Vasudevan sir was hinting. How do we bring the PPP, type of partnership? That's what Shalendra is trying to do, or Gujarat government is trying to do. But we talked about that actually, KK, with the Planning Commission. But we're at least Shalendra you was just starting to talk about. I think on a private conversation we can talk a lot. We're good at going to the different countries in the name of learning. Vasudevan sir, you may have seen a lot of babus going out. Okay, I blasted one of the. I'm not going to take the name. One of the CEOs of a government company. I'm not going to go too much detail. You probably know who he is. I said, how much learning you need, guys? How much learning you need? Learning, like for the sake of learning, for the sake of knowing from others, we go out, but bring that to the country, man. Make it happen. You make a corporate, and for just like few years, they're just going out for learning. That's wastage of money. Vasudevan sir, I'm also frustrated with you. Right. I mean, we can relate, but I think the answer to KK's question, first thing first, I guess education is a continuous process. We should never, ever stop talking to government. Never. It's frustrating to talk to them. But hey, we may actually 100 times we fail, 101st time they will listen. We need one guy to listen. Just one guy. Listen. Yeah. That things change. I mean, that's why Vasudevan sir 1993 happened. This MMDR, all the things are happening because someone is listening. We should never give up. We need more Vasudevan sirs over there, but with younger, much younger people like Shalendra. You need to, or some people like that. You know what I mean. With we need to continuously start, talk to the government sector. Doesn't matter which level, state level, federal level, planning level, whichever level it is. Needs to never stop educating. That's, I think, the best thing that we can do. Secondly, we work together. Okay, I think these are two things. What I would see, wherever the mining is happening, these are two things happening for sure. The first thing, there are many other things, Regulation, we can talk a lot, but the first thing is, constantly work with the government. Okay, we complain, but we could work with them, because think about it. Without that, can you even complain? No, we cannot complain. We need them. Government is us. Think about that, and it's the constant dialogue. That's number one. Number two is always offer. What can we do? What can we do? There will be someone that will help you. Say, hey, let's try this. A pretty successful person. I don't have that much experience as you have, or our other seniors are here. You have. You probably have seen once someone tries. Like I noticed, Sarendra, I really give you a lot of congratulations in trying the new things in Odisha. What OMC have been trying for decades. At least they're saying they're trying. They never tried. But try something new. Once someone tries, that gives the path to the next step. I think that these are two things I would say. I'm sorry that, it's also, we all are frustrated kind of because of, our decades of, experiences in the industry. Thank you for giving me the chance.
Thank you. Sir, we are all frustrated because we feel the pain and we feel that there is a lot to do. We are not frustrated as critics. I understand the frustration. We all are frustrated because we see more potential and more opportunities to improve and take it to the next level. We also see what's happening across the globe. It's a very good 2 points which you have said. One is we work with education system where we need to emphasize more from geology to money. G to M is where our colleges education system lacks. Absolutely, you hit the nail. And second is working along with the government. I would now request Devarajan sir, who has been part of GSI, who has been part of Indian exploration industry for quite a long time, and who understands what exploration is. Sir, my question to you would be, how do we bring up institutes like GSI or for the matter state geology departments who even don't have a single economic geologist on their I would not say board, even as an employee or as a colleague. So they have no clue how a mineral wealth can be exploited for the society at large. So how do we, bring these institutes which have dearth of expertise as well as dearth of knowledge to next level where this knowledge can be actually put to the benefit of the country? So my question is that, sir, what should be our approach towards these institutes, or what we should go and talk to them and, educate them or enhance them? Sir, you are on mute.
Just
Sir, you. Yeah.
Thank you, KK, for organizing this excellent panel discussion on a very relevant topic. And also thanks to Dr. Vasudev and Dr. Abani for setting the tone. Now, coming to the specific question which you have asked, in my opinion, there are some countries which are under sanction for various reasons. And Indian exploration is, in my opinion, the way India conducts its exploration program is something like we are, like a country which is on sanction. We are detached from what is happening in most of the developed world. It may be a harsh statement, but to me, the way we conduct, especially the execution part of the exploration programs, I can see there is a lot of difference between our approach and the typical approach which is normally taken in for similar commodities elsewhere. And as we all know, exploration starts with target generation, and this has to be commodity specific. It has to be sometimes terrain specific. When it comes to gold, in India specifically, we are looking at orogenic style of gold mineralization. So the people who work on exploration will be working on those targets which are likely to be identified, which have the typical features of an orogenic style gold mineralization. And also, from terrain to terrain, there has to be difference in approaches for the same style of mineralization. For example, India, we have reasonably good outcrop quality, whereas where I am working now in West Africa, which although produces a significant amount of gold, it is entirely covered by laterite. So the exploration programs have to be specific to the commodities, specific to the terrain, specific to the style of mineralization. And coming to the overall understanding of the three pillars of our system, the government, the academia, and the industry, I think there is a lot of lacking in all the three. The government, as my predecessors in this panel has already indicated, the government probably has not provided the right type of policy. And as of now, the awarding of the exploration blocks or programs are essentially on the basis of auction, which may not be the right method for precious metals, which Dr. Vasudev has very clearly pointed out. And when it comes to the execution of the program, which is industries or departments, some of the government departments like GSI and MECL, and a few private companies have done in the past, when it comes to the execution of the exploration programs, the way it is done specifically by the government departments is completely detached from what happens in similar programs elsewhere. How much freedom an exploration manager or an equivalent of an exploration manager in a government department like GSI, I come from GSI, has in deciding his exploration programs, his requirements, how much freedom he has in importing a standard certified reference material from a lab in Australia and inserting in this along with his borehole samples and sent to a lab, how much freedom he has got in creating his own QA, QC for his analysis, how much freedom he has in preparing a database which is validated and the resource estimated by a modern geostatistical methods, how often we do these things, how often we come across these aspects in government reports. Practically, I go through many of the government reports. Practically, nothing much is happening there, and it shows definitely that although we have been now able to create a robust fund for exploration from NMET and carry out exploration programs, the outcome of these exploration programs in terms of the confidence an investor would be having in the resource estimated is still maybe may not be as it should be. And also, we have not moved out from an inventory style of report assessment. UNFC is essentially an inventory. It is not a proper reporting method. It is not comparable to JOG or NI 43-101. So what we are still working with is creating an inventory, and it is not a proper reporting. And so it doesn't have a qualified person or a competent person with minimum 5 years of relevant experience in that field and an independent competent person to review and be part of the program all through. So that means we are still away from the global best practices. And how much our government, how much our industry, how much our academia is aware of these facts. we often interview students coming from India, and unfortunate to say that they are not at all aware of even the difference between a resource and a reserve. And I do get many CVs in which geologists write that they have been involved in, they have converted, they are involved in reserve estimation. And we all know now that reserve estimation is part of a feasibility study, which is essentially a multidisciplinary study where geologist is only playing a very small role. Rather, geologist's role is complete when he does the resource estimation and reports it. The rest of the work is that of mining engineers, metallurgists, geotechnicians, geotechnical engineers, marketing managers, commercial people. They together create a feasibility report. So it shows clearly that our people, whether it is in the industry or many of them in the industry, many of them in the academia, are still living in a shell. But now you may ask, are we not mining? Yes, we are mining, but the awareness on these fundamental aspects within the industry, within the academia specifically, as Dr. Abani Samal has pointed out, is very minimal. And coming specific to gold, even in African countries like Tanzania, there is a distinction between those projects or those areas or licenses which has a potential to develop as a large-scale gold mine, and the small prospects, how they award. In Tanzania, they have a concept of primary mining leases. These are essentially leases given to the local people to develop projects as artisanal and small-scale gold mines. And they have their own small industries where people join together and take up such areas and develop them as small-scale mines. And maybe about 50–60% of the ore it has to be then free gold, free milling gold, mostly quartz vein hosted gold veins. It should be accessible at shallow depth. And such mines, they carry out initially crushing, pulverization, maybe about 50–60% of the gold they recover by gravity, and the remaining, whatever their waste, if another industry is now there where they collect all these waste and do a leaching, and in the leaching they recover bulk of the remaining gold. So essentially, it works in a small scale as a small scale replica of the large scale gold operation. And most of the occurrences or the projects which Dr. Vasudev has shown here today, listed out, you can see that the resource is less than 2 tons. And in my opinion, the government should seriously think of a policy where some of these small prospects should be listed out as potential primary mining leases, which can be given, or equivalent of that, which can be developed as small scale gold mines. And it should not be, again, we don't want people to die while doing risky mining operations, but people can be given training and on the extraction process or the mining process, the extraction process, and a small industry can come up, or small industries can come up in various parts of the country, provided we have a policy towards that. It is quite viable. Dr. Vasudev has been talking about this for a long time, and sometime in the back about 2 years ago in the mining, about a year ago in the Mining Engineers Association of India, after seeing how this type of projects work in some of the African countries, I had made a presentation, and I think it is possible. We need to split the current policy of awarding all projects as only through auction, but at least some of these projects are where the larger industry, the big industry houses are not interested, but at the same time can be developed as small scale gold mines, provided we give them, such an industry doesn't exist in India, so they have to be given training, they have to be, there should be people willing to take up such projects. So that is my overall observations in general about the topic. And of course, I give a lot of emphasis on the academics, because our academics are, there may be more emphasis, so they spend their life writing papers on mineral, small aspects of mineral occurrences, metallurgy. But when it comes to actually how to convert those occurrences into productive mines, not much contribution comes from, unfortunately, from the Indian academia. And this I put the blame squarely at their door. Thank you, KK. Thank you all.
Sorry.
You are on
I
mute,
would
sir.
also like to say that, yeah, sorry. I would also like to say that we were missing on papers being presented from the industry side. That's something we need to involve more when it comes to research, like what Australia does. Given all this background, my question is to Ajit Sahu, sir, who comes from Vedanta and who has worked in various other, I mean, right from zinc to, and now he's looking after the bauxite and other interest of Vedanta in Orissa. Sir, what do you see from the private sector which is missing, or which we as a team should go and educate the CEOs of private sectors who are, catalyst in policy making, who influence the politicians in terms of policy, so that a right policy is driven and its benefit to industry at large. So what are your thoughts in that respect?
It's a very tricky one, KK. Thank you, KK,
I know.
for organizing this and entire Data Code team. It's very, very nice to be a part of this panel and listening to Vasudev sir and Dr. Samal and Devarajan. I am educating myself more than, when it comes to gold. But I also have done exploration for the last 25 years, largely with private companies. But I would not really bring up my frustration, because there is enough I'm seeing here. But one thing is sure that, even though we have frustration as a geologist, but we are born a very eternal and very optimistic people. Otherwise, we would not have gone on. Dr. Vasudev, we are seeing at his age, he's still trying. We also have some people in Odisha who are trying their level best to, make things happen. So they're all inspiration. Now coming to private companies, the policy is flawed. The intention is there, I would say, but the objectives are not set properly. Why I'm saying this, I would like to, bring two examples. I have visited many, prime terrains, globally. There was a time in Western Australia, I clearly remember, companies wanted to expand their production because, Australia is very well known for, developing their natural resource and catering to seaborne market. But there was a problem in terms of resource base. When you have a dwindling resource base, companies will not put money. in the expansion. So government there and the industry, they worked on the problem, and they came up with solution. And as they worked on the solution with good objectives in mind, they were able to take the resource to a very different level. And in the back of that resource and reserve, companies were able to put money, and expansion happened. Businesses prospered. Now that happened in Australia, but when I bring that analogy to, let's say, Hindustan Zinc, when they acquired, the company was acquired by Vedanta. So the resource base was not much. We all know there is a deposit which is SK. It used to be a 2-digit, 15, 19 million ton ore body in the brink of, it was a struggling deposit in terms of whether it should be developed. But, I'm sure, Kavadia Sav is here in this forum, and Vedanta supported the efforts and the ideas of people, the geoscientist community, which was probably lacking in the era of when it was run by the government. When the baton changed, same people they got their support, and today's time, that mine is the flagship mine of Vedanta, with 100+ million ton of resource or reserve, already converted, and it's producing, I think, 6-7 million ton per annum. So, we need to reflect as a community, geoscientist community and country. Do we have the right kind of policies? But at the same time, from there, we need to understand or have the right kind of objective. What do we want to do, and what kind of timeline we should be working on? And end of the day, we need to find ore bodies. We need to develop our ore bodies, and there is, when I look at bauxite, when I have in the past looked at, targets for iron ore, we just saw the targets that were shared by Dr. Vasudev. There is no dearth of targets. It just needs to be worked upon, and it cannot be worked upon without a proper policy or regulatory regime. And in all of this, we need to, as a company, as a country, as a state, we need to have right objectives, well supported by people, the technology. If Devarajan highlighted that the people in GSI, they are not in a position to take decision, or government bodies, best practices are there, but when I interact with Shailendra, we want to do many things, but we often see that the chaining or the people in government, they get chained more often. They are not able to act on their ideas or initiatives. So that's where the bureaucrats also needs to be tapped. Probably it is little less a chained environment when it comes to private companies, but it is more or less there. You go to Western countries, there it will be even more relaxed. You go with an idea, you'll be supported. In Indian company, it will be a little less, and when it comes to private government bodies, it will be almost impossible.
I really appreciate. Yeah, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
No, so Now, you asked, what kind of advocacy, as a private company or large major companies that could be done. I think, the private companies largely, whether it is Vedanta or Adani or JSW, we are often, we need to put country in first, not just in saying, but in our intention. And what happens, in the process, because we, I will take example of Vedanta. We have invested in the country, in the state, without raw material security. We do not have a bauxite deposit. We did not have a coal deposit in the state, but we had invested, 100,000 crore, which is huge, and we, because of which, we are not competitive with our, domestic or international aluminum maker. So our focus would be, yes, auctioning has happened, the change has happened, where the intention was good, but taking it to a level of exploration is just not, people don't understand. That is the point, which, and, when it comes to CL auctioning, it can happen for some commodities vis-a-vis, you cannot, roll out something as a blanket and not giving the importance of its complexities as a style of deposit, the cutoff, somewhere it is 3%, somewhere it is 40%. You can't have the same rule. So therefore, those, and because the security is not there for many of these companies, so they would be little selfish about this thing. But as the geoscientist community, we always need to put country as first, and then with that, when we go and do the advocacy, it is much more forward looking and sustainable. And I think the bureaucrats and politicians, they have very little kind of acceptance, which is where the problem is.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your inputs. I really appreciate, and in fact, these are experiences probably all of us share, and we need to work on the change. And as a part of change, we have today a catalyst to the change management from private sector into government sector is Mr. Shailendra, who has been trying to change the system, how it works, from people looking just at blocks, but first starting to look from the scratch to develop a block, who has really been catalyst to many things which are changing in Orissa. So Shailendra, I would request you to share your experience till now and how you think that you could, navigate the bureaucracy to your thoughts and to more scientific approach, and how do you see this taking forward, so that we all can learn from and share this with other people. Shailendra, all to you, please.
Thanks, KK and Datacode. Thanks, Ajit, Devarajan ji, and Dr. Vasudev. In fact, as rightly Ajit said, that it's more of learning. Yes, we have our frustration, but nevertheless, in this country, probably somewhere, what I learned in 25 years is that when you used to go to DFO for forest clearance, there was like some companies, two companies. I was representing one company, and I could meet immediately, and the other company couldn't meet. And it's one of the India's largest mining company. So it's not that the things will not happen, but you just go on knocking the door with your ideas, with your thoughts. I'll just share a small thing, small which happened, and how things are changing in Odisha. I was called in a very high level meeting suddenly one day, and then one of the highest level of authority just asked me, how do we do valuation of our minerals, commodities? So no, it was very, I was not expecting such questions, and there were only five, the most highest level of decision maker from the ministry, from the bureaucrats also. So, now when valuation comes, from what perspective they asked me, I didn't know. But then I said that, look, something which is drilled, you can evaluate. Something which you have not drilled, or you have, at what level of confidence, accordingly is the calculations. So, but what about that which you do not know at this level, whether down the line on the terrain, subsurface, which you do not know which mineral it is there in your country, I mean, in your state. So that from that day to the journey of 3 years today, uh, I would definitely say that yes, um, we have precision, because when we look at the way it should be, right from what Devarajanji was saying, that how many geologists have the freedom of inserting CRMs, QAQC and all. Sometimes yes, because of the need of the government, that more blocks should come and we should do. But if you are quite sure and you need to just work as a kind of world class, we need to have the best practices. You can definitely continue to do that, provided you're able to satisfy. You have to work hard for that. Yes. If they have given you a time frame of 2 months or 3 months or 4 months, whatever the target, and if you want to be a world class, you have to work 24/7, put more people. It's hard work. So how we navigate, KK, is that uh, government has made policies. It's like to 2015, it's 5-7 years, and there are a lot of negative attributes in that. It will change. It will take its time. There are hundreds and hundreds of prospects, whether it's a gold, bauxite, or iron ore. We need to explore fast. So there are strategies. We have in Odisha, we thought that the basic data, that is what I told in the room, that basic data, the geoscience data, we don't have. And even though it is in somebody's, it's in the somebody's drawer or somebody's file or somewhere, we do not know. So that's how we started that. So what to do next? So we need to create basic database. What is the basic database? Maybe we have the basic geological knowledge at whatever scale. We need to create more of uh, geophysics data, and that's how. And there are certain low-hanging fruits always. You straight away go for target areas and start your exploration with a proper time frame. We go to the NMET. We have taken a lot of funding from NMET. Yes, NMET body.
Yeah, just for audience, I would like to tell you, Orissa recently got the NMET award for 3 crores as the first state to successfully auction maximum blocks and taking them to next level. So Orissa for this year, they have been the best state in the country. Go ahead, Shailendra.
So, when I go or my boys go and take any sort of, you won't believe. Can we imagine that how many companies in India are using RUG laptop for logging? Or how many of companies have a small database management system which can, which comes on the real-time basis, you can monitor your exploration? So what I'm trying to say is that you need to continuously tell your management that these are the best practices. Maybe out of 10 best practices, you are allowed to do 3 because of sometimes constraint of budget. But in Odisha, there's no dearth of budget. Let me tell you, neither the budget is constraints is there in NMET, but yes, in NMET, they don't like all this QA/QC and all. Simple, they want drilling, and even they don't like all radicals to be analyzed. So there are some constraints that will change with the when the body becomes independent, because they also work under certain rules. So what we have done in India, I mean in Orissa, in our state, is that uh, we are trying to just work on basically three large, under three large umbrellas. That's one is that kind of some of these projects are like very deep dive projects kind of thing, and like and generating basic creating basic database, geoscience database. So it's like continental scale, which are of very quite national and state level of interest. Under this we have like resource framework, and we believe that groundwater is a kind of resource, and it would, it is very important from now that we work on this. So we have some state level groundwater system we are working on this, and also state's future energy resource projects. So when it comes to like, this is kind of national or state level, which could evaluate the potential of new energy commodities, maybe hosted. It could be oil, it could be natural resources, it could be hydrogen, it could be the other energy minerals like lithium, graphite, and copper. And lastly, what I was telling is that, programs that could support, enhance data delivery and geoscience, knowledge sharing. The problem is that, you have data, a lot of data, but it's slaying. Somebody needs to, convert to, where you can share, where you can discuss, where you can take decisions. I'll just give you a small example, that you have a state, there are a lot of mining companies have been drilling. This drilling data is, they don't share usually, but they do share with in terms of mining plan, which is there in with the IBM. Why don't you go and have all these drill hole data at least on your digital platform to just, visualize where the ore body is going, where you can just discover more ore bodies. This is very simplest thing. So what we are doing on the in terms of I must acknowledge this too. And one day me and Ajit, we were having some discussion, and this idea came, and now we are going to have a one of the largest database system of the state, where you can find whether it's any geoscience data, whether it's a geological map, whether it's a airborne data or upcoming heliborne data. What you can just have all this, not for us to not only for us to read on this or do a lot of research on this for the discovery, but you can it's also for the investors to see. So this is one. Now, I was listening very closely to Dr. Abani and all certain things. When in that room we discussed not only how to create a large database and discoveries, low-hanging fruits, which our state DZ has explored or mapped and left out. So we are just doing a kind of legacy data analysis where we might be having some 100 blocks which we can straight away go and drill. Now, why again it's this exploration is delayed? This again kind of we have a lot of blocks. We have already even sometimes getting this exploration clearances from statutory authorities. Basic hurdle is the forest clearance. It takes a year. 1 year, just even, I mean, I would say that I'll be forgetting geology while running after this forest clearance. Of course, there is a law now, just maybe it will be approved with the ministry that for exploration there won't be forest clearance. Now, forest clearance, dealing with the indigenous people at the site, dealing with the village issues, are again inhabiting this exploration also. So some of the areas we are, although we have even forest clearance, we are not able to start drilling. In that room, we also discussed how we will upgrade the skill set of the geoscientists and mining engineers. So a robust skill set development, collaboration with the major industries, universities, a well-trained, force. So that we already have one, not only signing MOUs, but we're working hard on this with CISRO. And also we are just trying to develop, again, the data is the key to the development. We are just trying to develop a very international standard of core library instead of, here in Bhubaneswar. So it is just in line with all what you see in the Western Australia or in New South Wales. So this will be a world class. And I tell you, the government is quite supportive. You just need to go and knock on the door. Tell your management or manager, whoever he is, he may not listen first time. He may not listen second time. Maybe where you're presenting sometime, then he'll get interested. And it doesn't end here. You need to just collaborate with the knowledgeable people and bring in them with some sort of alliance collaboration. Learn from them, whether it's a reporting system or a reserve or resource reporting system. Currently we have UniFC. Well, it's okay. Now we know that whether it's a JOR, Crisco, whatever it is, and how it works. Again, what I'm trying to, the change will happen, but it's taking time, but it will happen. It's so long as we don't get listed, these mining companies don't get listed with the stock exchange, and it is a strong monitoring regime for them. They can sell the mines. It will not happen. So they don't know what is the how much importance it is with the confidence of what confidence level we are saying this reserve. We say that it's okay G1, but then had somebody really done a due diligence by somebody else? And so the best practices are bringing the more blocks into the regime. It will happen. What I see is that there is a change. There'll be a change also in the 2015 law, but it is little slow. That is sometimes as an individual or sometimes as it is frustrating. But then I also reiterated the fact that as Mr. Devarajan or other speakers have said, Vasudevan sir and all, they have been hammering. We have to be very vocal in the like FIMI and all, where we can just tell. But even after this, like 10-2B cases gone to the that all the licenses are going to be where they've spent money. It is going to be put for the auction and all. It's not good practice because they have been investors. Yeah.
I mean, Abni has something to add or question for you. Abni has raised hand, so just wanted to bring his attention. Please go ahead, Dr. Abni.
Just 2 points. I think I was listening to the brother sir and Ajit, and thank you for all this. I think I'm going to give Shalendra really congratulations. I remember you and me discussing about, debating about, I know, all these dreams you had, and you're coming to that. I think I'm getting, I did not know all the developments that is happening in Odisha now. Thanks for updating that.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
That's great, actually. But it just shows that what I was trying to say, that never give up. And you have done that. I think the other thing I would say, which was, I know that it's a frustrating thing for you, is the forest clearance, dealing with indigenous people and those kind of things. But here is a tip I give you, Shalendra. This is learning from me in a good way, in a hard way and a good way, is that keep note of everything that you're doing in that aspect. I think Ajit can actually probably chime in that too. The reason being, what is happening throughout the world, thanks to the accidents happened in Brazil and Canada, the terms ESG is biting the people. Okay, but don't take it negatively. It's just forcing us to think about it. And the countries like India, where it has been, we are actually practicing that ESG aspect in a difficult way, in a very difficult way, because that wasn't the case before. I mean, thanks to the accident happened in Australia. Without that, we wouldn't learn this lesson. You come to this part of the world, you would see how much pain, actually, how much, not really pain, the effort people are trying to do. Hey, how do we deal with these people? Okay. The Western world and the developed countries, what we call developed, that means they have matured system. They have a way of dealing with the people, society, environment. They do. It's a very mature system.
Agree.
But what we have in India, I have been reflecting on it for last, I think, less than a year now. I think it's a beautiful thing, but people have been actually misusing it. Like, it should not take a year. It should, I mean, you go through the process. You go through the process minus the bureaucracy. It should be quick. and you will take care of the people. Who doesn't want to take care of the people,
Yeah.
right? You want to take care of the people, but take everything minus the bureaucracy. I mean, that's up to you, Shailendra. But my tip is take a note of everything that you're doing. And if you're engaging with CISRO, I mean, these are leading people. It doesn't matter who you engage. You are engaged with the USGS, whoever.
Yeah.
You say, sir, you know, USGS, CISRO, see what we have done for our people. Okay, this is how we care. I would say be proud of that. I know the headache of bureaucracy. Just for a moment, forget about it and go up a couple pegs. But enjoy that the thing that through this system, actually we have kind of a robust system actually in India. But I'm saying the bureaucracy in India is painful. Just take that out. You'll see everything's great, isn't it? Isn't that what you how say, KK? In India?
Avniv, I'll add it one point. I'll add one point. The first year when I joined government, it really used to hurt. I used to tell my wife that I just bloody put my paper and go. And the reason was like, you know, bureaucracy and bureaucracy and bureaucracy. But when they really understand, not only one, the entire chain of the bureaucrats, right from the finance person, right from the guy from steel and mines, right from the somebody from the forest and environment, your pain area, you bring them in the mainframe that this is my pain area, you are not doing. The file is laying with you for last 3 days or 4 days. They're being monitored. Then your things move fast. And even now, I tell you, in here, even down the line to the kind of ranger who is not signing or a forester who has not gone to the field for the scrutiny, that is also being monitored. So if all these happen, it's a better governance. I just, you know, now the life is, I mean, life is not cool, but then from the bureaucracy perspective, I don't think when they are really, you need to just go and tell them. They may, you know, they may not agree with you, but you tell that your approvals are stuck up here and that you are not able to move. So they take care of that. So if this happens, then you know, things goes well. Yeah.
Shailendra, we all have a lot of things to learn from you when it comes to handling the bureaucracy and navigating through the bureaucracy. And I really appreciate the efforts you have taken. Now, I have a question for Kashi, who is also one of our panelists. Kashi has been silently listening to his guru Vasudev sir and his seniors like Devrajan sir, Ajit sir, who he has been working for, I think, decades. Kashi, as you being a person who is an hardcore, I won't say geologist or a geochemist, a geoscientist, and who loves to be more on the field than to get into the bureaucratic aspect, who enjoys the scientific aspect of every aspect of data. What is your take or what you would like to, because there are many students and next generation participants in this panel discussion. What would be your advice for them as a career building into geosciences? So what would you like to tell them, to the students and other who are also audience who have less to do with bureaucracy?
Yeah, thank you, KK. And Shailendra, congrats for getting award and really listening to you. I'll take a few minutes to answer your question. Before that, I'd like to thanks to all PAN members. Shailendra, I will really happy to see the core library. Couple of years ago, I visited Adelaide core library. It was fantastic. Yeah. It was amazing. So it was really happiest moment for me when I was in that library for a day. It will happen in India, really.
Yes,
listening itself is
happen.
Very good.
Let me tell you, we are almost on a finalization of the architect. One architect and 3 geologists and 1 mining engineer and 1 civil guy are just visiting next week to Australia. And they'll be saving 3 or 4 libraries. And we'll finalize and then we'll go ahead. And the target is by 24th of January, you should visit Bhubaneswar.
Oh, thank you very much for it. Thank you very much.
Yes.
It was Adelaide Library was fantastic.
Yeah.
I still feel anyhow. And it is
Is that
always
in your mix, Shailendra, Adelaide Library? You can get that details from Kasim.
Yes. Sure, sure.
yeah, definitely.
Pleasure, yeah.
If you want, I can help also. I can talk to
Sure,
that
we
gentleman.
will be in touch.
Yeah.
I'll have your number from KK and we'll be
Yeah,
in
yeah,
touch.
yeah,
We'll
yeah,
talk
exactly.
for this core library. I need really good people to just, because I'm the only person I'm left out just handling all this. I need to understand more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
sure.
If you want, I can talk to the concerned person. Name is Graham Thiel, who has arranged for me. I'm in
Okay.
regular touch with him. I can put word with him, and I can inquire what is the procedures now.
Fantastic.
And thank you, Ajit sir. Really, after a long time interacting with you, I worked with him. He's a very nice chap who motivates us, and it's always pleasure to listen my gurus, Vasudev sir and Devarajan sir. Both of them are my gurus in the field. And Abani sir, I never met you. It's a really good thought. I was interacting with the university professors a lot to this kind of things to take a move. So that is really in education system. As I am the person who can say that, of course, all of you may be same experience. When I joined from my university after PhD, I can give you an example that I don't know what is core. I don't know what is exploration, but slowly I learn. So learning process is always slowly happens. Another thing is which I want to say that yes, our GSI, our education systems, our industry should work together. That is one of my desire also, because in industry we don't have several things. An example of the petrology. I'm exploration geologist. Sometimes I get a lot of frustration. What is this rock? How to understand this? Even though I know how to study the rocks, but I don't have that kind of things and times to do. So always it is a knowledge sharing, win-to-win process always helps a lot. And coming to the students, yes, several times I have taken to several trainings to the young students. They think that all of a sudden they come into the mining industry. They don't understand what kind of job they are expecting, what kind of job they have been asked, because they don't know the core logging. Because one of the keys for an exploration, core logging is, but students they don't have. So what I want to say, either universities get in touch with the industries and get in that opportunity for the student. Of course, we are doing that kind of facilities. And at the same time, industry people also should go to the universities and explain the how this
Yes.
working and going and all these kind of things
Absolutely.
and all. That definitely helps a lot. Another thing is even in the government agencies also, once in a year or something like that, these three commodities should get, not commodities, sorry, the three organizations should get together and have a discussion how best, because it may not happen in a overnight, but within a couple of meetings and discussions, definitely can come up some kind of a solution between three of these things. So that is one thing. And paper publication, somebody was mentioning that, yes, industry people also to publishing. I'm the one person who getting the opportunities to do this kind of things. That also helps a lot. And another, my frustration, not a frustration, which I went to that, I had interact with several geologists, and I got an impression that several people does not understand what is the ore grade intersection. So these kind of things, these kind of things can come up with only personal interactions or meetings or some kind of workshops or seminars, these kind of things. So that much I can say, sir. Please excuse me. I have to go out to pick my daughter. So I'm moving out from this meeting. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Kashi. I really appreciate you taking out time. In fact, it has been a very good panel discussion for all of us. Though we planned for an hour, but it has stretched to 2 hours because everybody had really added
It
value.
can happen with the geologist.
Yeah, I know, sir. But it was more informative, and I have a lot of things to take away. One is surely I would like to put a panel later discussing with all of you something which would be a data code or an IDPX endeavor to create a panel, and you make this panel visit various universities and give a small talk to the budding geologist, so that they really understand, and we have another generation of geologists which are not just trained by GSI Training Institute, but also from the industry at large. I would not take much of time of everybody because we have already run out of time for a long. I would like to thank right from Vasudevan sir, Devarajan sir, Dr. Abhin Samuel, Ajay and Kasi for taking out time for this discussion on a day's notice. It was very interesting. I thank one and all who have joined us. Sorry that I couldn't give opportunity for asking questions, but seeing the response of this, I think we will organize more panel discussions in due course of time as part of our PIP. I would request Dhruv to conclude this by a small vote of thanks. Dhruv, please go ahead.
I
One
just
minute,
want,
can I come in here?
Yeah, please come in.
Yeah,
Whosoever
yes.
wants to speak, please
You know,
feel
the
free.
thing is, one thing is, I am extremely happy that I was today involved in sharing my knowledge with some of the top people in this country in the field of exploration, administration, and so on. And our views should reach the Prime Minister's
yes.
office. Our views, I will take the lead. I'll take the lead,
Thank you,
but
sir.
I need.
Sir, I can assure you that I'll not be able to go to Modiji's office, but I'm sure, I was just about to tell you that maybe on Monday, 16th, certain things I learned from your slides, like small deposits and all. It was an idea of one very senior bureaucrat also for the tin deposit here. And again, it needs to be restarted from your slides. Certain things are there to learn. And we will definitely, I'll take your advice and all what we have just, what I have picked up to the government. So they're very open for this. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So Karnakar, are these
Yes, sir.
our discussions? Is it recorded?
Yes, sir, it is
Recorded
recorded.
from your end?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is recorded.
So that will also help. And I have also made notes while we are all talking. I have made certain notes also. I'll share with you. And let's take this to in a form of essay, 2-page note to the
Yes.
Ministry of Mines and to this one. And let's, a draft can come from your end. I'll get into it and then share it with all the other members.
Absolutely.
And it can go to the Ministry of Mines and the PMO like that. We need, all of us agree that there is a need for a change here. And
Yes.
obviously, Mr. Shailendra, you said let's wait. Change will come like that. I appreciate that. So
Vasudevan
also,
sir, actually, taking it to PMO is the best. I think your frustration with PM, what is that, MOM. Even
Yeah.
actually planning commission, I've kind of felt like these guys, if you can shake PMO, things will happen. And eventually it will happen. If we couldn't actually, after really convincing the planning commission, if things are not moving, we must go to PMO. Actually, who else, right? And why not? We should do
yes,
that.
Strongly
support it.
your friend, good friend PV Rao, Dr. PV Rao, MEL.
If you take him, then you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we are in touch. Arun Kalra in Delhi. The
Arun Kalra,
former,
yes.
and even now I think he's associated with De Beers. He's interacting with the top people, CIA, ASOCHEM, and also the ministry often. And Arun Kalra and we always discuss almost on a daily basis. And PV Rao. And then we know, a person who is a close friend of Mr. Modi ji. He sits in the US. He is 91 years, former School of Mines Dhanbad person.
Who is he?
91. Yeah. I don't name him now without his permission. Yeah, that's it.
91 years old. I think I'll filter those. I'll try
Probably he was also instrumental in my talking to the PMO's office. That's how the PMO.
No, that's good thing. Good thing, sir.
Like
I think
now, let's do this one. And Mr. Shailendra, I will assure you, there will be a gold mine in one of the places. I have been collecting data on that one. That is Gopapur area.
Sir, actually, what happens is that whenever I don't want to tell certain things in this forum, when we'll talk on one-to-one, sir. We know that.
Gopapur area and also quartz pebble conglomerates in Orissa along the western margin of the Dhanjori Basin.
Yes,
You
sir.
can develop gold mines there. It's 9-kilometer spread is there, and I have some data, but that area has not been prospected in detail. There is one more, which is also quartz pebble conglomerate right south of Noamundi, iron ore mines,
Yes,
Noamundi.
yes, yeah.
And it comes there, and very good gold data is there. You got to pay me to tell you what it is in a lighter way.
I'll do
That's
that.
the key.
I will pass through Karnakar.
Yes, sir. Yes,
As a,
sir.
So,
Absolutely.
so
No,
what
no,
I'm telling is there are
yes.
gold mines to develop really, and everywhere,
Yes,
including Orissa state. That's
And
all I
actually,
want
sir,
to say.
actually,
And thank
just to
you.
compliment to
I was privileged to hear. Yeah, please go ahead.
Vasudevan sir, actually, I think I wrote a little bit on the chat box there. Complimentary to what you said about small scale and medium scale.
yes,
What
yeah.
I'm noticing actually in North America, particularly, in the back on my backyard, there are a lot of ventures because I'm sitting in Utah. Okay, southern Utah and Nevada is gold, copper, everything. What we're seeing is that most of the investments are coming not for the large projects because these are large capex. But what is being more attractive is the small scale investments, and those are like new things. And thanks to COVID, actually, the small. But what investors are looking for, people like Shalendra, people like Ajit, people like our sir there, the Vasudevan sir, is they're looking at the people, constitution of people who are the leaders who can take this thing not to the exploration to mining. So I think small scale mining is the future, and we should do that actually in India in a good way. It doesn't require billions of dollars. We're talking about millions only.
Yeah.
Manu bhai, I would like to chip in here. I remember clearly working for Rio Tinto. It used to be tier one, tier one, tier one.
Yes.
They failed, that, Ajit, you know that
they have
failed.
changed their strategy.
Of course they did.
No more tier one.
I was against the sale of the mine they sold in Michigan, Wisconsin. Guess what? I was auditing that project after Rio Tinto sold as an independent contractor for another company. They're changing the structure. They're coming to gold now. So the things are changing. Yeah. I think it's a good time. When there is change, it's a good time, isn't it, Ajit?
Yeah.
Today, gold particularly, its demand is having an all-time high price of upward of 4,500. The maximum expenditure, including the payment of the interest on capital and on all kinds of borrowings, everything, $900 per ounce is the cost, as against nearly $1,800 or upward of $1,800 is the current LBM price, plus 12.5% in India. Gold mining is one of the best business to be pursued. Please hear me, and I'm here to share knowledge free of cost.
Thank you, sir.
If you ever come to US to see I don't know if you have visited the Nevada mines, please let me know.
I was there actually in 2008. I visited Barrick Goldfields in Carlin Trend, Nevada.
That we call it old time. 2008 is old time for us now. Because
but Barrick was very kind enough to take me and then drop me back in Utah by their helicopter. And one whole day I spent in Nevada. And my friend went from Elko towards Barrick Goldfields.
I mean it, actually. So including Shalendra, Ajit, and Vasudevan sir, if you ever interested, come in this part, let me know.
I think KK, this was wonderfully done. I think there are a lot of participants. If they have any questions, I think there might be someone trying to ask, or we can wind up.
No, we will wind up for today. Dhruv, please do the closing.
Abhaniji, see, please pursue with IMIC, because whatever, it should be certified, whatever they are auctioning, that at least the resources for mining lease should be certified. And, you are the architects yourself and the Rao. You are the architects of CRISCO compliant IMIC, which is definitely equivalent to JORC and 43101. And please pursue with the Ministry of Mines.
Thank you, sir. We'll continue. Thank you.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you to all the participants to be with us for 2 hours, for more than 2 hours now, because the discussion has been quite interesting. And sorry that we couldn't take the questions. It's already over time right now. So, and I would like to thank all the panel members as well, starting from Vasudevan sir, Devarajan sir, Abani sir, Ajit sir, Kashi sir, and Shailen sir for putting those inputs from government side as well and sharing your success story with Orissa. And lastly, also thanks to KK sir for moderating the session. And we will be meeting. We will have the detailed session of Vasudev sir in coming weeks as well. So please please visit the Datacode website. We will be sharing the registration link there, and hopefully you will also share how you are liking this sessions and what needs to be improved. If there is any suggestions, if you think it needs to be improved, then please do let us know as well. Thank you everyone for connecting today, and happy Independence Day to all of you.
Yeah. Thank you, Dhruva. Thank you,
Thank you.
Karunakar,
Happy Independence
for this
Day.
opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you.